Hello and welcome to this review of the Xiaomi TK12 smartwatch. Now, if you haven't seen my reviews before, then I'll tell you I'm going to take this out of the box, show you what comes out of the box, but since I hate unboxing videos so much, I'm not going to dwell on it. After I show you what comes out of the box, I will go fully charge this watch, then I'll go wear it for multiple days, and then I'll come back and do my full, fair, and honest review. This is a smartwatch that has a 1.92-inch display. It does EKG or ECG, electrocardiogram. Let's peel that little face off there. Let me back up. You get the watch, you get a spare band, you get a charging cable, you get an instruction manual, and it looks like maybe a supplemental, how to take the EKG testing and a little inspection thing here. It's a good looking watch. Let me press the button, see if it has any battery life in it whatsoever. Oh, nice. Okay, usually if you press and hold this, you can toggle to different screens, and same deal with this one. So I don't, I obviously just took this out of the box, haven't used it yet. Oh, you can adjust the brightness. Here's some information. There's the device name TK12. Okay, so here's the deal. This is the latest in a series of smartwatch reviews I've been doing that also do what claims to be continuous blood glucose monitoring. Okay, and I'm going to say right up front in this video, and I might say it 5 more times over the course of this video, don't trust any smartwatch to accurately measure blood glucose levels. All right, the technology is not there yet. It's not ready for prime time. I will wear this. I will take multiple blood glucose readings through the watch. I'm going to jab my finger and give you 2 numbers to compare and ponder, but these are not medical devices by any stretch of the imagination. I am not a medical doctor, and I'm not qualified to give any medical advice, so I don't and I won't. All right, it fails. Okay, there's a little film on the back here. I'm doing more of an upfront here review than I usually do with these things. But I'm eager to get this going, and I know you're eager to see how far this technology has come. I think this is my 6th or 7th review of a watch that claims to do blood glucose monitoring. I just stumbled upon a feature set in these watches that is very popular. There's a lot of interest in this. And I know especially diabetics are out there clamoring for something like this, but this is not your answer yet. Until one of these is FDA approved, just don't trust your health to any of these devices. All right, so it took a blood glucose reading there. Who knows what that means at this point? If it's got, it will do blood oxygen saturation. It will do EKG, ECG. This is IP67 waterproof. It will do Bluetooth calling when paired with your phone. Here's your call center here. Here's where you would dial from the device when connected to your phone via Bluetooth. Let's see how we get back here. It has a number of exercise modes. It will do EKG or ECG. It does non-invasive blood glucose monitoring. It will do SpO2, which is blood oxygen saturation. It will take your heart rate. It will do your blood pressure. Of all the smartwatches that come through this studio, I'd have to say this is one of the better looking ones. I like the form factor, all right? And you've got a little crown that spins here. Whether the spinning will get you through the menus or not, I don't know yet. Remains to be seen. It's got a speaker, you see, for making those calls. And here's a lower button that's also going to be, that will get you into your various sports modes, all right? You see the sports that are in here. And then when you do an EKG, ECG measurement, that same button will be your point of contact to touch. So the pulse, it will measure the electricity through your wrist on one hand, all the way through your body and your heart until it goes back into the watch through your other hand. So let me go wear this for several days and put it through its paces and come back with my full, fair, and honest review. Okay, I've been wearing this watch for almost a week. I like the looks of it. I like the feel of it. Now, this is a different band I just happen to have that I put on there just because it was a little bit more comfortable. But you go to the main screen, you can choose your watch face. It has a progress bar around the sides here that gives you your heart rate, your kilocalorie burn estimate, and your steps. It will do Bluetooth calling. I've tested this. It works just fine as a speakerphone when tethered to your phone via Bluetooth. It does sleep tracking, which I find to be pretty accurate. It does blood oxygen saturation. This has both the green and the red diodes. And again, for budget smartwatches, the red diode is kind of a bonus for SpO2 and heart rate variability and all that stuff. So I like this. It is right in line with every other measurement I've made with these devices. Here's your continuous heart rate. Here is, you can do beats per minute, your heart rate beats, EKG, I'm sorry. We'll get into this more in the app. You can do your blood pressure on this. I find it credible. Here is your blood glucose monitoring, and I will show you this in the app as well and run some experiments and do a finger jab in just a couple minutes here. Okay, I'm going to do something a little unique here. Since I have two of these blood glucose watches, I'm going to take measurements at the same time. I'm going to start this one. That's the E400, and here we have the one currently under review. Let me get to the blood glucose screen here and click start, and a little piece of something on there. Let's just watch these go in real time, see what numbers they come up with, see if they're the same, and then I'm going to test this against a blood draw, all right, within a minute. So let's see what numbers we get, and this should go to the accuracy question and whether these things are reliable, because I would expect these to give the same number, or at least within the ballpark of the same number. All right, we've got 158.4 on this one and 80 milligrams per deciliter on that one. All right, so hey, you compare those numbers. So let's do this measurement again. 158 versus 129, and again 154.8 versus 127, and yet again 158.4 versus 127. All right, so you saw those two numbers. Here's my blood draw less than a minute later. Let's stick this into the glucometer and let's see what reading this gives us. 133. So I'm not a medical doctor. You tell me whether you put any confidence into any of these numbers. You have to judge that for yourself, folks. And this pressure, I didn't know what this meant. Just if you were just mentally think, replace that word pressure with the word stress, and it will check your stress levels. That's all this is. And then it will tell you how much under physiological stress you're under. You can control your music from your phone, from the watch, when tethered with Bluetooth, and there you go. If you double press this, you can get into your workouts. You've got running, walking, cycling, breath training, HIIT, planking, rope skipping, yoga, climbing, hiking, and more. And you know, it's somewhat limited. There's no gym function in here. There's no kayaking mode. You can go into your sports, your records of all your workouts, and again in the app I'll show you more about this. Your steps, your sleep, your phone, SpO2, heart rate, blood pressure, blood glucose, pressure. Again, that's really stress. Audio, watch face. You can change different watch faces. Hey, it's got a lot of cool stuff in here. The messages work, SMS when tethered with Bluetooth. That works. I deleted my messages for the sake of this video. In terms of like a form factor and overall watch, I like this one. I really, really like it. And in the sub $40 category, I think it's a pretty good deal. Let's go look at the app. All right, so this is the portion of the video where I dim the studio lights and we get just a little bit intimate here. Actually, I do this so you can see the screen better. But the app is pretty cool. It is called Deep Fit. All right, mark this moment in this video because one of the most popular comments I get on all these smartwatch reviews is, what is the app? Deep Fit. DEEPFIT. That's the name of the app. All right, so it gives you your number of steps, All right, it does sleep tracking. This is all pretty credible. It gives you your deep sleep, your light sleep, when you fell asleep, how many times you got up, all good stuff. Your heart rate, it will give you your continuous heart rate, and you can set the interval for this, but it gives you your highest, your lowest, and your average. Lowest 51, that seems about right for me. I know that seems really low, but you know, usually I'm about 52, 53 when I'm sleeping at night. So yeah, this seems reasonable to me. Again, I live NSNG, which means no sugars, no grains, so I don't eat foods with sugar to give me huge insulin spikes or sugar spikes. I just don't eat that way. Here's your blood pressure, and you can set this up at intervals. Again, my highest, my lowest, my average, 120/80. Hey, that's textbook. Hey, I'll take that every day. So I think blood pressure is pretty credible. That's right in line with everything I know. Blood oxygen saturation, or SpO2. Whoopsie. Oh, wow, what did I do? So, yeah, blood oxygen saturation, it gives me my scope. I can look at all my measurements, 96 to 99, that's all right in line. Hey, and stay tuned, I've got actually a pulse oximeter in the mail on its way to me, so I'll be able to test these things directly. EKG or ECG, I can look at all my past measurements, and it gives me, you know, my average heart rate, QT interval. I've got a previous video that explains what the QT interval is, my heart rate variability. This is all important stuff to me. This is how I track my health. So this is all very credible. I like it. Temperature, odd thing, you know, I can set the units to, I set it to Fahrenheit, right? But on the watch itself, and I'll show you this in a minute, it shows it in centigrade and my blood glucose levels, okay? So, you know, take this with a grain of salt. Don't trust any of these non-invasive blood glucose watches. But today, you see, you know, a spike at around 9 o'clock. I just woke up and had a cup of black coffee. I didn't eat. So at lunchtime, we see it spike a little bit higher after a meal. I had chicken and broccoli. Okay, I believe that. And on a relative scale, that spike should have been a little bit higher after eating a meal. I took this off while I was out kayaking tonight, and now I had a little bit of a snack here, and it's dropping back down. So, you know, trend-wise, it seems somewhat okay. However, I'm going to point one out to you. I'm going to go back a few days. Yesterday, that would have been Monday. I keep going back. Let's see. It was this day right here. This makes no sense whatsoever. I got up and ate breakfast, so that spike makes sense. And then I was in the car driving for 6 hours, didn't eat anything. And for some reason, this shows my blood glucose spiked up around noon. I don't believe it. I didn't eat anything. If anything, it should have continued to drop, but it did not. It shows me a spike. So again, I'll say it the second time in this video, don't trust these devices. They're not credible. They're not FDA approved. So I just don't believe it. And then the weight, you can track your own weight. You have to enter it in. It doesn't measure that, obviously. You can go into, you know, set your units and whatnot. The app is pretty good. I like it. Here's the device. You can, you know, you can pair it. You can set your notifications, heart rate warnings. You can standardize your blood glucose measurements with what you know before, like at a fasted rate. If you know your blood glucose levels, you can enter that in to hopefully make it a little bit more accurate. Whatever that means, but I don't trust these devices. App is pretty good, so I like it. I would recommend it. Just don't trust it for blood glucose. In fact, right in the manual for blood sugar, it says, no, the test results are for reference only and cannot be used as medical data. So diabetics, don't trust these devices to measure accurately your blood glucose levels. Just don't. But that said, for everything else, at this price point, I would recommend this watch. But don't trust any of these for blood glucose levels. All right, hey, I've got not just one, not just two, not just three, I've got 4 more of these smartwatches coming, 2 more with blood glucose monitoring. Those, plus this one I paid for with my own money, and by my own money, I mean the revenue, the small amount of revenue generated from this channel. That's from you folks liking these videos, leaving comments, and sharing them with friends, and subscribing. It's the only way I can do this. I invest all that right back into the channel. But I've got another company sending me 2 more smartwatches with a fingertip pulse oximeter to directly compare these SpO2 measurements. Hey, this channel is, I run a high-end performance racing and kayak company. So everything I do here supports my business of getting people into really performance fast kayaks. The smartwatch reviews really just do the heavy lifting on this channel and help pay some of the bills. So hey, that's what this is about. You're gonna see some kayaking videos if you go to my main channel. I've got a smartwatch and fitness tracker playlist on my YouTube channel. Bear with me, folks. I'm going to get as many of these reviews to you as I possibly can. I love playing with bleeding edge technology. I like to see what's out there, what's coming, and when I do, I try to share it with you. So, hey, this watch is pretty cool. I'll talk to you next time.
When you want an extraordinary racing kayak made in the finest American tradition, or maybe just own a piece of American kayaking history, you want a West Side Boat Shop kayak, now available from davethekayaker.com. West Side Boat Shop kayaks. The tradition continues.